Hello everyone, my name is Katie and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first YouTube video that I am making. I've been home since the middle of March and I figure why not put all this extra free time that I have to good use. So today I'm going to be just doing something really easy, something a little bit fun, something that I've had as an idea for quite a while now. So the makeup look that I'm doing is actually going to be a recreation of a makeup look I did about 5 years ago. I consider it to be my first makeup look because I did post it at the time on Instagram and Facebook. After a while I realized, girl, what are you doing? Like, it was not it at all. What that makeup look was, I was a freshman in college and I was just starting to dabble in makeup at the time. It was before I made the decision to leave school and go into beauty school, so it was something that I was just kind of playing with the one time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the makeup look up here. So as you can see, it's quite different. It is definitely not that's not good compared to what I do now. You probably could look at that, and if you're somebody that has seen makeup looks that I post on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook now, you're probably like, girl, thank God you learned what you're doing, because that is scary. And my eyebrows were like thin as paper, not plucked, didn't know how to fill them in, and the eye look was just, it was something. It was something. I didn't know what lashes were, didn't know how to blend, was probably using makeup from like Kmart or CVS. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I use drugstore stuff now. At the time, I just didn't know what I was doing, and it just ended very, very badly. And to think that I actually went out in public like that and posted that on the internet for people to see, people were probably like, girl, they're just being nice. So I definitely want to try to recreate it today and see how I could change it up. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see, I did do my eyebrows off of camera today. I didn't think that it was really necessary for me to film that, being that it really doesn't relate to the makeup look itself. If you do have any questions about what I use to do my eyebrows, I will have everything that I used today listed down below. And then for the eye look today, I am going to be using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics X Jane Dawson Conspiracy palette. The look obviously has a lot of black, and I think at the time I used white when I did do it, so like a black and white look. I am going to be using the Conspiracy palette because, one, it does have a really beautiful black shade, but it also does have a really like bright white shade and some silvers. I think I'm going to add some silver in there because I think the picture that I was originally inspired by was a black and silver look, but at the time I just didn't have the makeup to do it. So I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit and play around with the look. I'm going to use Tarte Shape Tape just to prime my left eye. I'm going to just do one on camera and then do everything else off camera. Just going to give you an idea of what the look is. So I'm just going to start by just applying just a little bit of Shape Tape right to my eyelid. Okay, so to just blend out the concealer on my eye, I'm just going to be using just like a little eyeshadow brush. This one is just off of Amazon. I got it a few years ago, and I just kind of like it to just kind of stipple out and blend the concealer on my eye. And once everything with that is blended out, I am going to take a piece of Scotch tape, and I'm just going to use this because the picture that I was originally inspired by had like a really severe like cut angle in it, and I just want to make sure that I get that nice solid line in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of line it up with the arch of my eyebrow, and I'm going to just tuck it a little bit under my lower lash line, because then once everything on top is blended and done, I am going to connect it down and kind of smoke out the under eye. So once I have the tape in place and the concealer blended out on my eye, I am just going to go in really quick with the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I'm mainly just using this for the white shade on the bottom here, and I'm just going to use that right under my brow bone just to kind of give me a starting base to blend the black up into. Black can be sometimes hard to blend out if you don't have like the correct base there, so I'm just going to use a Morphe M441 brush, and I'm just going to pop the white underneath my brow bone just to kind of set that area, and then it'll make it a little bit easier to blend the black up into it. So now that I have placed the white shade kind of on my brow bone, I am going to go in with the Conspiracy palette, and I'm going to be taking the shade My Rides here, which is the black shade. I'm going to start with that because, I mean, it's basically most of the look is the black shade. And I'm going to be taking a little Morphe brush. This one actually doesn't have a number on it, but it's kind of just like a little detailing blending brush. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to start right where the tape is. I'm just going to start packing it in right in the outer corner there, kind of like if you were doing liner. Just going to start packing it in there. I'm kind of working my way in and up. This shade is really, really pigmented. I haven't really touched the Conspiracy palette much. I have had it since it came out, but I really just haven't had the time to sit down and really like experiment with it. So I think this will be a really good opportunity for me to kind of play with it a little bit. But so far, this black, this is pigmented. As you can see, as I'm kind of playing, I'm kind of trying to make like a curved shape there, just so it kind of looks like more like a wing. Just making sure I'm packing it in there too, because we want it to stay nice and pigmented and dark. We want it to be like a pop, like a very smoky kind of eye. Okay, so now you can see I'm probably looks a little bit scary right now. I do have a little bit of fallout from that shade. I don't really mind it. My face isn't done yet. I'm going to do that after the fact, so I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm going to be taking another little Morphe brush. This one also doesn't have a number on it. I don't know why they don't. This must have been from a set that I bought that maybe it just didn't, but it does pretty much compare to a M433 brush. What I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to kind of go in on that black there and kind of start to blend that up. As you can see, I'm keeping quite a light hand with the blending. I don't want it to get all over the place. I do want to keep that nice kind of like shape to the eye. I'm kind of just dragging this out too on the outer corner. And then kind of taking whatever is left on the brush from blending, I'm kind of just pulling that forward a little bit. Because in the original inspo picture, she did have it kind of like the black coming forward a little bit. And you can see I'm kind of blending away some of the pigment there. And I am going to go back in and pack some more of that in just to make sure it stays nice and deep and make sure that color really pops. I know it's black, it really doesn't pop that much, but we want it to stay nice and deep and dark. Going back in just to make sure that stays nice and dark. I'm even going to take just a little bit and I'm just going to kind of go in right above the crease there, because I'm going to have to cut it, so I want to make sure we still have that depth. So I'm kind of going over where my natural crease is, and I'm kind of just pulling that forward, so that way when I do go in with concealer and cut the crease, it still has that depth and kind of has that definition in there. And then the same thing, I'm going to go in and blend that out. Now as you can see, it's still keeping like that nice arch shape, and then once I take the tape off, it's going to have like a nice little tail, like you would when you have a winged eyeliner or anything like that going on. So I'm just going to continue just to make sure to blend this up in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back in with a little bit of that white shade from the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, just to kind of blend it down and kind of make sure I diffuse any kind of lines that might be there. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of that on the same brush that I used before, and I'm just going to blend that down. And it should kind of be like almost like a nice gray transition in between. Okay, so now you can see I do have that all blended out now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking Tarte Shape Tape again, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it on the back of my hand just to have something to work with here. You don't need a ton. I'm going to be taking it on a little brush. This is the brush that I use to do my eyebrows. It's another Morphe brush that doesn't have a number on it. It's just like a little very thin like concealer brush. So I'm going to take that. And what I like to do to kind of figure out where I want to put my crease, I start by putting it like on the lower lash line and working my way up, just making kind of like a straight-ish line and kind of looking up. That way I know if I open my eye where it's going to kind of hit. So what I'm going to do is, now that I know where to put the cut crease, I am going to go in and just kind of start carving out that line. When I originally did this makeup look, I was in college and like I didn't know any terms for makeup. Like I didn't know what a cut crease was. If you would have asked me what that was back then, I probably would have looked at you like you had 4 heads. So it's definitely going to be a little bit easier, I think, this time, because I think last time when I did it, I just used like a Q-tip and I like, it's really gross, but Q-tip with like, I would lick it and kind of just like whoop, clean it up, and thought that that was like the thing that solved all my problems. Definitely a lot has changed since then. Gotten a lot better with the whole technique thing, just to kind of get it more blended there. I'm just kind of going to go in with a clean brush and mesh the two together. So now that the concealer is in there, it is still wet, so I am going to set it, and I think to set it I am going to be using a little bit of COTY Airspun Translucent just to kind of set that in there. I am going to be putting one of the silver shades from the Conspiracy palette on top of it, but I like to set the concealer first before I do that. So I'm just taking just another little brush that I got off Amazon, kind of just getting a little bit of translucent in there, and then tapping it off so it's not overbearing, and kind of just pressing that wherever it looks like it's still a little bit damp. So now that the concealer for the cut crease is set, I am going to go in with just a little like angled concealer brush. This is just a brand that I got off Amazon a few years ago, so I don't really have a name or a number for it. And I am just going to wet that with a little bit of water. And I am going to go in the Conspiracy palette, and I'm going to use the shade Diet Cola. And I am going to start with that. I like this brush because it I could go right in with the angle of the cut crease. So I'm going to go right in, kind of make sure that's all etched out there. So now that silver shade is applied, you can see that there's a little bit of blending that needs to happen in between the black and the silver shade. So I'm going to go back in with the original brush that I used. I'm just going to dip in a little bit to the same black shade in the Conspiracy palette. I'm going to start kind of packing it on where it might be that I got kind of blended away, just to make sure that everything stays vibrant. And then I'm going to kind of just mesh the two shades together just a little bit. It should create kind of like a black to gray to silver transition there. Okay, so now that we have blended the two shades together, the black and the silver, you can see it's a very nice transition with a little bit of gray in the middle now. I'm going to be taking just another little like off-brand brush, and I'm going to go in and just go a little bit above that cut crease and kind of just deepen that so it kind of makes everything pop a little bit more. Okay, so now you can see that I kind of went in and defined, like I said, with a little bit of detail in there just to kind of make everything pop a little bit more. So now that I've removed the tape, you can kind of see how it's left us with a nice clean cut line there, and it still gives us the opportunity to blend everything down on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the other eye off camera, and then I'm going to do my face makeup, and when I come back I'm just going to kind of go in and blend out the under eye. I might do pop color, or I might just stick with the black. I'm really liking the smokiness of it, so I'm not really sure yet, but just give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I did finish the other eye, and then I went ahead and did do my face makeup just to kind of save a step. Now that we have everything else finished, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into the same black shade we were using from the Conspiracy palette. I'm going on a little Morphe detailing brush here, very tiny, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap some of it off just so there's not a lot of fallout, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of connect that outer corner to the underneath the lash line and kind of just smoke that out a little bit just to kind of give a little bit of depth to the bottom there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an M441 from Morphe, and I'm just going to go in very lightly and blend that out. Putting any more product on the brush, I'm just kind of smoking what I already put there out, blending everything together. See how that kind of just brings it down a little bit. Make sure there's no harsh line. So I think I might be a little bit risky because I'm really feeling like a pop of color right now. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting in this yellow shade from the palette right in the inner corner there. I've done that before with different looks, and I really like the way that it came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little Morphe brush, and you could tell it kind of already had a little bit of a yellow tinge to it. So I'm just going to dip into the shade Food Videos. Just get a little bit, it's kind of like a neon green yellow. Tap the excess off. I'm just going to go right in the inner corner here and do a pop of color. That looks really cool with the black and the white and the silver. Oh my god. And then the other time I'm going to do the same thing and take the same like bright yellow shade from the Conspiracy palette. I'm just going to blend that into the inner corner and just drag it up into this part and then down into the lower lash line. I really love that pop color. Okay, so I really like the way that looks. I really love the pop of yellow up against the blackness of the eye. I really like the way everything pops. I feel like it blends together really well. So what I'm going to do really quick just to kind of finish off the look before I do my hair is going to take a little bit of the COTY Airspun. I don't know if anybody's tried this yet. This is their loose face highlighter, and this is in the shade Snow Much Ice. So I'm just going to take a little bit that on a Morphe 510 brush. I'm just going to go right on my cheekbones. I love this highlighter. This is literally like the best loose highlighter I found, and I think it's literally like $4. I don't know the exact price. I'll have to like put it in the description, but it is my favorite highlighter. I use it almost every day. There is another shade that I have too, of it, and I love both of them, but this one's like my go-to everyday one. I mean, come on, look at that. Also gonna do a little bit of highlight just right above the brow bone, just to give like a nice natural glow to everything. And I don't think I'm gonna put any highlighter on the inner corner just because we already have that bright yellow shade and I don't want to take it away or make it look less vibrant. So I think I'm gonna stick with that for the highlighter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my hair quick and then I'll come right back. Okay, so now I'm back. I straightened my hair and kind of just tucked it behind my ear. I felt like if I curled it, it would just be like too much. It would take away from the eye look. I also put on this cute little snake skin one shoulder moment because I felt like it matched the look really well. So this is the final look. I did pop a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes, and I did have falsies on when I filmed the last part, so I did pop those on too. Not really sure which ones they are. They are Ardell's, but this is my second time using them and I did throw the package away, so I don't know what name it is, but I will list everything else that I used down in the description down below. I really am in love with how this came out. I feel like it's completely like revamped compared to what we were working with 5 years ago. Obviously, the growth is real. The only thing I did really take away from the original was that when I originally did it, I did do like that little inner corner eyeliner moment, but like I've come to learn over the years that that just does not look good on me. So I think taking that away and then adding in the bright yellow pop in the inner corner really brought something different to the look and kind of made it my own. I'm really in love with how this came out. I feel like I would wear this no matter where I was going. Probably not work, but if I was going out with friends, like I think I might pair it with this outfit when I do eventually get to go out and wear this once quarantine is over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the before picture right here. Obviously we could see there's quite a big difference between this and this. Really happy though with how I was able to revamp it, and I really hope you all enjoyed it too. So that is all I have for you today. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope everybody is willing to subscribe down below. I am going to link all my other social media you could check out. If you're somebody that doesn't know me, you could check out all of my past makeup looks that I've done. I do some really fun things for Halloween, and I kind of try to keep myself going all year round. I am going to be trying to come up with like a schedule. If I really do enjoy doing this, I would love to come up with a schedule and do this more often. Have any questions, or if you'd like to leave any kind of constructive criticism, please feel free to comment down below. Like this video, subscribe, share it with whoever you want to share with, and just leave some love down below. So that is all I have for you today. So I am just going to link everything down below, and I am signing off. So everybody have a great week, stay safe, stay social distancing, and hopefully I'll see you if there's a next one. So bye!